What is up, everybody? Welcome to a Monday evening live stream. And I'm going to make we're not going to pause for the memes. We're going right into it, right into me. We're going to be talking about the Elecraft KH1. And thank you for coming out here. The reason is on Saturday's live stream on the After Chat, which generally we devote to helping hams, and we had George from Pactena and the Ham Radio Workbench out. I wanted to cram the KH1 in there somewhere to give enough time to it to maybe talk about it, but just too many hams in the room and too many other topics that I felt like I fitted in there inappropriately. So we're going to take a little bit of time here. We're going to do it right. We're going to walk through the KH1, the Elecraft KH1, which so far I think is just a super, super cool little piece of kit. And there it is next to what we're calling its grandfather, because if you think KX1 and then KX2, KX3, right, they're almost like similar to each other. Maybe the son-daughter, maybe. And then you got the KH1 is the baby, right? That's the idea. Anyway, we're going to talk about this. We're going to go through all the little details about it, what I've learned in the very short time I've had it. But I found that what started out was my thinking that this was just kind of like a simple radio. It's a CW-only radio, kind of like a mountaintopper or something like that, how much time do I really need to spend? I plug it in, I beep, it beeps, I hear beeps, there we go. The reality is this got way more going on, and we've already kind of plotted out, at least Wayne from Elecraft has talked about plotting out into the future software updates for things that either it doesn't do yet that it's going to do, and then the future kind of upgrade path, which we'll hint at a little bit as we look at particularly the outside of the radio. But let's go ahead and go back to the overhead, and don't worry, we're going to be listening to it and doing some battery checks and power draws and all that fun stuff too. So here's the radio. Let me go ahead and get myself out of here. So I did go with the Edgewood package on this radio. In fact, let me switch chairs. It's going to be faster. And we found out, you might have been like me, that the Edgewood, what is Edgewood? Well, it's a park up and around where Wayne and them go, and that's it. That's the primary one. If you'd like to hear more about that, you can go check out, I think it was Coffee and Ham Radio's live stream. You guys correct me in the chat where they talked about that. I thought that was pretty cool. But anyway, so here's the radio. I do have, I believe, what is the production release of this radio. It came in a big old box, way bigger than this radio, and it has a really nice color manual. And this was really, really helpful for many different reasons, obviously, as you'd expect a manual to be. But if you ever bought an Elecraft radio before, you know that they really take the time and care to put in a lot of detail here. So I think the first place to start is to walk around the outside of the radio, because this is the most non-standard radio that I think you'd kind of expect to deal with in this day and age. So I'm going to take this out. This is the little side tray. Obviously, this is set up for a lefty like me, because I write left-handed, but I key right-handed, so I can switch back and forth. So to add this the side tray, it just slides into place like that in these little doors. I remember how I installed it, but I don't want to force it, so I may just leave that. But it does come out. I promise you can switch it. So that's the first thing. You can switch this back and forth. When you close it, there are slots that it keys into, right? It slots in, keys in, and closes, and it's a full fitted thing. Obviously not water resistant. I would argue that Elecraft doesn't believe in water resistant radios. As you can see, there's just openings everywhere, and the KX2 is the same, right? There's openings all over the place, but they still make fantastic stuff. If you decide you need to waterproof it, throw it in a Ziploc bag. Hey, TC Fitz, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, so you won the assignment. I told everybody watching Steve's chat to let me know that Steve sent you here. So thank you for doing that. Thanks for the super chat. Now, so from the outside view of this, right, hypothetically, this key is supposed to be flipped around like so, and all that. It packs up with the aerial. The aerial has these little rubber bits, right, and they slap right into the side like that, into these little aerial holders. There is a pen, and it's a tiny pen. It's designed to fit into that tray, just like so. It actually just kind of push fits into place. And then you can close the radio around it. I've found that you generally need to rotate the pen a little bit so that when you close it, the clip doesn't get in the way. There you go. Now it's out of the way. Right? All right. So operating this radio, at least from just looking at it, your primary controls are going to be down here with your AF. This is your volume control, and your VFO. The key, which is obviously your transmit control, is this part that comes out of the bottom and rotates over into place. And you can see that the actual slot for it. There's a little bit of keying there. Fits right into place. And that brings the profile up. So now these are sitting proud of the radio so that you can actually work the key, right, when you're out there. Okay, so let's take a look at the top. Oh, by the way. So, yes, if you go to the KH1 website and you look up the manual where the manual is located, you will find the file for the log sheets. And you can print these log sheets out if you'd like to print them out before you get your radio. Recommendation to Elecraft, you could make these double-sided, and then we'd have double the log capability. But yes, you need to print these out your own and cut them out. Okay, so let's close this back up for a second. So the top, much like the bottom, having a lot of stuff going on. Let's put it back into pack mode. So I've now dropped the key back into pack mode. So the key is out of the way. Those VFO and AF control knobs are preventing you from whacking it and damaging it. So let's get the top into alignment here so you can see it. All right, other way. There you go. So what are you looking at? Well, this spot is the whip attachment point. So the aerial that you're dragging around that sits on the side of it, right? That screws into the top. Now, I was told that there is some play, but once you tighten this up, very little play. It's really nice and tight. You don't need to push hard. You don't need to, torque it down or anything like that. Once it's kind of seated, you're good. I'm wiggling, very little play. Nicely done. So to use the whip, come on now, bud. Do your job, autofocus. To use the whip, you have to either be in 20 or the 17 through 15 meter switch, okay? And it's a 3-point switch, 20 or 17, 15. The reason for that, and we're going to open this up, and you're going to see the tuner and the battery and all that fun stuff that goes along with it. The reason for that is there's internal inductors that you have to switch off or on depending on what you want to do. In this case, if you want to do 20, you've got to add an inductor to get you to 20. Because this vertical is not getting any longer. So to give you a longer antenna, you need to add an inductor. Right? This is only so long. 15 and 17 and 20 are all going to need longer or different amounts of antenna to get them on the air. And if your whip is only that long, you needed to add an inductor, a coil of wire, if you will, right? If you wanted to do 1715, switch it to 1715. If you want it off completely, no inductors, you switch it to X. And that's generally how I've been using this while I've been at home. The BNC post is going to be if you don't run the vertical and you just are going to run a home antenna, you run the BNC post here. The center spot, this little ground logo, and that's what that is your radial. And that's where the provided radial wire comes into play. And it's pretty much the same wire if you bought a Elecraft KH1 antenna. It's going to have a little U spade connector, as you can see here. And we just loosen it a bit, and then I just turn the radio over, like violently, like I did right there, of course. And then I try and socket it between the two washers, if you can see right there. And then I just lightly send it home. I'm not trying to torque it out because, and a really good recommendation, strong recommendation for another, you see it already fell out. Strong recommendation for another channel out on YouTube is Thomas Witherspoon. He's already activating SOTAs and POTAs with this radio, and he was a part of the development team for this radio. And he was commenting that, a lot of times you only want just a little bit of tightness on this little screw here. The reason is if you kick it, like kind of I just did, you want the radial to come flying off of it, and you don't want it to rip the radio out of your hand and pull it into the ground. So you want to be able to just pull it off, and it just comes loose. right? That's preferable in all situations from ripping this, it's a radio. It's, delicate. Ah, the Smoking Ape. Hello, buddy. Kyle was not streaming today. He will be on next week. I swear I didn't bully him out of live streaming. He said he didn't have anything today. I did check, though. All right, let's take a look at the backside. So a couple of things here. These holes are actually intentionally placed right there on the radio. And if you look at the manual, they note that that's for further attachment points. I don't know what that means yet, but there you go. There you have it. And there are holes on the side here as well to keep in mind with all of that. Now, getting into the back of this, so if you're like me, I've pretty much been pretty in the open saying that one of my least favorite things to do, and yes, I know, Chuck, you don't have a problem with this, but when you open up the KX2, which I love, you've got this speaker wire that's kind of like hanging out here, like hello, while you try and swap the battery out. Not my favorite thing to do. Never been my favorite thing. Particularly when I'm outside after I've hiked miles and I'm like, okay, now's the time to open up my delicate internals. They fixed that, though, with the KX2 by creating an internal charging module, and I have it installed, and there's a little LED light. So if I plug this guy in, by the way, this is a shout-out to that that kit, because if you're like me and you were worried about that, there you go. Now you got internal charging. Absolutely love this. But anyway, that's a different show. I made a video on that. Go check that out. So the inside of this radio uses the same battery of the KX2, and you get into it by pulling this little side lever here, giving a little friction to it, and then just sliding it open. Okay, couple of things to cover here. So here's your tuner. It's a smaller tuner than in the KX2, and Wayne talked about this. Again, I think this is also a Coffee and Ham radio. I'm not stealing the thunder. I will link you guys. I apologize I didn't do that beforehand. I will link you, but Coffee and Ham Radios had Wayne on, and they talked about that. The tuner that's in the KX2 is much better than, much is the wrong term, better than the KH1, and the KH1 is better than the KX1. Okay, so if you have those radios, there's your lineage. Tuner real good, tuner good, tuner of its age and time, right? So there you go. There's your tuner. This is the internal charging module. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Chuck. And again, go check out KK6USY. I will link. I promise I will wrap this up and I will link to you guys. Sorry, I got so focused on Steve's live stream. I forgot to do a lot of that. But here's your guys. You got KK6USY, the Smoking Ape. I'll even pull up your videos here when I get a little breather room before we get the radio on the air. But yeah, thanks for the good videos, KK6USY and Coffee and Ham Radio. So inside this battery compartment, which I did, again, I got the Edgewood, so I do have the battery, the KX2 battery. You're literally putting it in here. Like, it's going in to this radio body, right? Interesting, but that's how Elecraft rolls. They're like, no, man, this is how we roll. And you're like, okay, I will roll the way you roll. The point I want to mention, and by the way, this is totally fine. I put it in here. There's no problem. Everything's good, right? Good. By the way, this is the battery orientation that I found to be most feasible. So here's the battery connector, right? In that spot, the coaxial connector. And I go around the outside of the battery, and the feed point, if you call it that, for the battery is like right there. So have where the wires come out of the battery closest to the tuner, run it around and then in, and it's almost like it was perfectly measured to make that run, and then it terminates and it's done. Okay? Couple of things. I don't have this, but it is mentioned in the instructions, and I called Elecraft today, and they confirmed that this little slot right there is actually supposed to hold a hex nut, and that hex nut is a replacement for the radial nut. If you were to ever lose it, it's supposed to stay in there, kind of like how your old mag lights used to have a battery that was in the butt compartment underneath the batteries, right? The LEDs or the bulbs. Same kind of concept. There's a little backup nut that they leave there for you. So make sure you check that, because they should have it in there. The other thing is there's an Allen wrench, and it's right here. I'm not going to try and pull it out because it's in there pretty tight. Yeah, we're going to leave it. But that Allen wrench is for adjusting the tension on the key. And so that just lives in the body of the radio. If you were ever need it, it's right there. And so you put it in. It is something that arrives as a manila little envelope. It has its own little envelope, so make sure you don't miss that. I was jokingly calling it the Allen Sabasi because they shorthanded subassembly to Sabasi. So there you go. That's what that was from. Now, what I've learned is the power switch. So here's the power switch. It does get in the way of the battery door closing, and you almost always will turn on the radio when you are closing this. So you got to kind of manipulate this in a way where you close the door, it'll turn it on, and you turn it off, and then you reach down here and pull, and that'll seat it home. And now you can turn the radio on, or you can turn the radio off. Realistically, there is not a whole lot of reasons why you need to be opening the battery compartment on this radio, because it has that internal tuning function. And if you were thinking about getting this without the internal tuning, the internal charging function, I highly recommend you consider it. I really did. I really do appreciate the kit as they all got it together. So, okay, there's that. There is a pen. I think we already mentioned the pen. We did, right? I think we did. So there you go. That's all attached. So hypothetically, what you're supposed to do with this, and I'm going to walk through, all of this, is you close this guy up. I'll show you the keying. Right, so there's the keying of the lid. It's slapped shut now. Again, tight. You take your aerial off, assuming it was on. And your radial wire. Which I had this with me, man, this last weekend was crazy. I had a carnival for the Chinese school that I was like head truck driver. I took like 3 laps back and forth between my home to just drag stuff to and from the Chinese school. It was absolutely intense. And I had this with me and on Sunday, but I never had that golden opportunity where the wife is like, go ahead and do something for 30 minutes to try and chase a poda or whatnot with it. So aside from my Saturday live stream, I have not been able to get this on the air. Anyway, with this installed, you hypothetically can take this, and this is actually what I would recommend you do, is you just take the radio wire and just start wrapping it around. Well, maybe do it the other way so you don't catch onto this aerial bit, but there you go. Take this guy and just wrap it around the outside of the radio. I'm not going to do it all the way, but I wanted to show you that on the side here, next to the aerial clip on both sides is a little tiny clip spot. And once you have it all wrapped up, you can just press the radial right into it. And then you take the case that it comes with if you get the Edgewood. I do recommend you throw some earbuds in there. And that's the fit. There's the fit for the whole thing. Right? That's my recommendation, how you do this. So let me take that off. Yes, I didn't wind it up all the way, but you get the idea. And hopefully you didn't tighten up too much, and I tightened it up too much. There you go. Now it's come free. All right. By the way, I will be taking questions, although I want to try and get at least to the portion of getting it on the air, like so you guys can all hear it and do a bit of testing with it. We're going to test power draw on charge and transmit, and we're also going to do a bit of power output testing. I don't know how long I've been live for. Only 19 minutes. Whew, excellent. I have no pressure to be under or over an hour at this point, and in fact, I kind of just want to do it right and show you guys what the capabilities are here to the best of my ability. So I'm going to take the battery out for this. That's going to be our next step. And yeah, it'll run without a battery. So we're going to... Oh, you need to take the radial off if you're going to take the battery out. If you've not used an Elecraft before, particularly the KX2, there is this little plastic finger loop thing. If you just take the finger loop, hold it, and pull, that releases the coaxial power plug. Battery comes out pretty easy. And there you go, back in place. All right. So first thing, let's test the power draw. So we've got a power supply of some repute here. I have yes, I am going to be on the step IR, so I appreciate that. Oh, right now we're on a dummy load, but we will eventually be on the step IR. Coaxial plug is on the side here. Note that it thinks it's trying to charge, but there's nothing to charge, so we're just going to turn it on, maybe. There we go. The lid is going to be in the way a bit. I don't want to I don't want to force the lid. It's there, that's where it lives, that's where it's going to be. All right, so what are we drawing right now, everybody? Source load. We're on receive. We've got an antenna connected. 0.12 amp. That is incredibly low draw. That's pretty awesome. All right, so I do have this set up as a straight key setup right now. So I did that on purpose because we're going to test the power draw on transmit. So hypothetically, let me double check all this. By the way, Wayne has also said that you really can't blow this thing up. I mean, I don't think he also challenged us to blow it up, but there should be a good enough full deck circuitry into this that we're not going to kill the thing. With that said, I'm not trying to do that, right? Right. All right, so here is the power draw. We are on the dummy load. Check, check, check. Good. Less than 1 amp on transmit, 0.88. And let's, oops, sorry about that. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Wonderful. So same configuration, although I am running off of, I am on the power supply, so that is actually, what's the better way of doing this? Because I technically want to be on the power supply. I don't want to run off the internal battery. We want to check that later. So let's turn this off for a second. Let's get my handy dandy power box out here. Probably need that too. Okay. So that was step 1. Now I need the power splitter. I will be right back. I had a splitter in there, but I moved it. Yoda. Oh my god, where did I put my power splitter? My normal desktop power splitter, where did I put it? Oh man, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Donald May, thanks for all you do. Josh just passed my general last night. Your videos on POTA, big motivator. Well, I got another one coming up here soon, so stay tuned for that. Let's see. What's the right way to do this? Oh, I know what to do. Easy peasy. I'm going to use my battery. This is really dumb, but it often shows up best in videos if we use the wonderful MFJ power meter. I appreciate this is not lab quality stuff here, but let's plug it in, see if it turns on. Hey, it does. Excellent. So here we go. Thanks for the super chat again, Donald May. And we will turn on our... There we go. KH1. We're looking at... Here's the draw. 6.78 off of a 13.8 volt charge right now, or source, and a 0.89 on the power meter. Nice. There you go. Okay. I'm going to now install the battery that's supposed to be in the radio. And we're going to test that again to see what the power difference is. Because I do expect a power difference between the two. All right, so coaxial power, get that out of the way. We're going to install the battery back. Oh. See, this is why those keys are supposed to flip around. I'm going to take that out for a second. All right, installing the battery. The little plastic bit, will come off if you're not. It'll fly off the end of this like that, and then it's useless to you. So make sure it's on there. And it works both ways. So if you can pull one end to pull it off, you can pull the other end to pull it on, and that's what I do. So I line it up, kind of, sort of like that, and then use the plastic to pull it into place. And sorry if you didn't see that, but that's exactly what I did. I just went in there and pulled it. Now, what's the battery alignment? We want to lengthen that wire out like so. There we go, all nicely seated. Now, hypothetically, unless you need that spare nut, like I was talking about, right? Unless you need that spare nut or the Allen key, you don't need to open this. There's really no reason. You can just charge the internal battery from the coaxial output in the side. So just close her up. Radio turned itself on, as I already mentioned it would do. Okay, we'll put the key back in. Yeah, it's probably going to... Yeah, it squawked at us. It is smart enough to know what it's supposed to do with that key. That meaning smart enough to know whether it needs to switch back and forth or whatnot. Oop, wrong way. Come on now. There we go. All right. Straight key status. Off of the internal power. You get about 4.8. Now, is there a fudge factor of MFJ? Sure. Sure there is. Right? You expect about 5 watts output. Hey, Donald May, thank you for another super chat there. Appreciate it, bud. Thanks for that. All right. Okay, so hypothetically, like, that is how you set the radio up. This is it. Here you go. Now, going around this, we didn't talk much about this spot. The actual operation is what we're going to hit next. So there you go. The deck is flat. Everything's good. So walking around the radio, again, power switch is on the side here. It's a tiny little thing. It's easy to kind of turn it on and off, so keep that in mind. Having this in a case is actually a good idea in case it bumps or jostles against something. It's pretty robust. You could put it in a pocket, like Wayne mentions, but, there you go. Okay, so Elecraft is well known for their, click once and do a thing, click and hold to do another thing, and this is no exception. So anything in white is going to be the click, immediate click, and it does a thing. So if I click ATU right now on this frequency, we're pretty close. So we're on a dummy load. It's going to go, yep, 1-to-1. You can test your dummy load this way. If it's anything other than 1-to-1, or 1-to-0, you got a problem. If you hold, though, you get the long display menu. And walking around the display menu or the deep menu, sorry, not the display menu, the menu itself, the radio menu, is going to be with the AF control, your volume control. That allows you to scroll through the internal memories, which we're going to walk through. And then to adjust the internal memories, let me go to one of these that's not locked, because I got to show you what that's all about in a second. All right, ATU mode. If you change the VFO, you can go through all these different modes to change. I just leave the ATU in auto, unless you are on like a step IR like I have. So you could put it in bypass if you wanted to, right? So we'll just leave it on auto for now. Hit menu. There's your operator control, right? So left dial is your volume control. Right dial is going to be your VFO, but we're locked right now, and I'll show you how to take it out of that. Okay, let's get this on the audio so you can hear. It's going to take me a second here, but we're going to go poke around on some SDR or SWR listening. This is a headphone jack. We're just going to go on the side here. And how are we doing? Okay, hold on. I've got a bit of interference. There we go. Hold on one second. Okay. You hearing that? All right. I don't like that. Why is that like that? Yeah. We're going to switch. Switch audio devices. There's a high-pitched tone that's not there. Let me actually check that. That could be my antenna setup. No, it's certainly not. Okay. Off of this guy. Good. Nothing there. And excellent. There we go. All right. So I have a lapel mic that I've plugged into the Belkin, plugged into my ears, plugged into the radio. So hypothetically, we can really get some white noise up in there. A little bit of buzz. And yeah, we are on the dummy load. All right. Let's switch off the dummy load. Potentially hear some signals that are out there. Yeah, I'll probably just start out on 20 meters, but we'll dive around for some SWR stations as well for some listening. All right, sorry about that. Yeah, and hey, Alabama Andrew, hang around. We're gonna break down the costs here at the end. We're gonna take a look at this. I figured it'd be fun to first take a look at the radio and then get into the weeds a little bit. So, anyway, I hear you though. I hear you. Yeah, I don't think Elecraft is bothered by the fact or is perturbed that people go, "Hey, this is a really expensive radio, not for me." But I think it's cool. I think nobody can doubt that it's got a lot of cool factor, right? Okay, so let's show you the navigation point of view here. Oh, sorry. If you hold down band and mode, right, we got 14 and CW. So if I use the left and right here, SPD minus, SPD plus, which is the keyer speed, I can cycle through the bands. So now I'm cycling. Oh. That's literally. I wonder if they set time. Holy crap, let's just do that. Okay, so we're on shortwave listening. This is 15 megahertz, which is the time source, time signal. That's hilarious. I'm waiting for it to play the voice. You are hearing the audio out of the radio right now. Let's give it a minute. Now, it is in CW mode, so I need to get it off of that. Because, see, it's SWL, but it's in C mode. There we go. All right, hold down the button. So you don't get AM. At least I don't know how to get AM yet. We'll take a look at the menu in a second. But let's be right on it. Hold on. Let's go find somebody actually talking in upper sideband. How's that sound? Hold down the button to give you straight kilohertz. Come on.
Alpha 0 Japan.
There we go. Had to get it into upper sideband mode. There are people on this station, so let's hang tight. Let's see if we can hear them.
Yankee 5, Bravo, Bravo. 6 Yankee 5, Bravo, Bravo.
Sounds pretty good.
Yankee 5, Bravo, Bravo. Yankee 5, Bravo, Bravo.
Oh, okay. That was the thing I need to clarify. And yes, I do off-camera research. There was not an AM mode, but if you want to copy AM signals, use LSB mode. So we'll go back to 15 megahertz here in a second. Sounds great. Single sideband sounds great. All right, we're not going to belabor this anymore. Oh, you know what? Wait. Oh, wow, we're way off the... Okay. Way off there. Hold on, where's that guy at? There must be a DX station out there.
Uniform Quebec. Whiskey 5, Uniform Quebec. United Quebec.
Pretty good. All right, obviously that's not why you're buying this, though, so we're going to get off that. I do want to hear Interesting. Okay. Probably a faster way of doing this, but no, not into that. There we go. Yeah. All right. Oh, wait, why? You see how it's switching band spaces? So now we're in the transmit portion of the band. I wanted to see if you could cross the transmit limit. There we go. So now let's put it in LSB mode.
Universal time.
There we go. So there's your AM signal. No mic input. This is not a Morse code machine. This is just CW. I just happen to start here because I'm an SWL guy. I appreciate it. I like to listen. So good sounding. All right. It's probably not what any of you care about, right? You care about the CW. Like, you give this guy to a digital and SSB guy, and what's he do? He's trying to turn it into a shortwave listener. I get it. All right, let me get out of here. You get it. So let's go back. We're going to change to... There we go. Nope. Try that again. There we go. All right, now as far as the controls of this go for doing Morse code, we're pretty much now in the Morse code spot. So now I can VFO up and down. There is beautiful FT8 noises that you can find if you're so inclined. Realistically, yes, I could probably struggle and make some contacts. In fact, we'll go down to 40 meters probably to try and do that at the end of the stream. But I figured that's, you guys are all better CW operators than I am. Literally, like almost everybody watching me right now. So you probably don't care about that. What you might care about, though, is this deep menu. So if you hold down the menu button, no, come on. There we go. And you take the AF all the way to the left. Here is your start of the menu system. And in fact, maybe we turn this down to do this. Yeah, why don't we do that? All right, there you go. It's quiet now. So you do have some AGC control. There is adjustment of BFO is going to be like your receiver tuning, right? So you don't necessarily want to mess with this stuff out of the box. Like, that's probably not the way to go. You can... This is going to be a spot where I talk about this little lock button, because you're going to see this little lock throughout a lot of this. If you hold down the menu button, it will now unlock that capability. So it's kind of, this is your way of knowing that if you do this, you could screw something up. So I'm not going to do it. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm going to be like, you know what? You're right. I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm not going to mess with that. BPF bandpass filter. There is bandpass filtering, but again, a lot of this stuff is locked on purpose. Now, so this is pretty interesting. Okay, see how it's saying 14? That's the voltage that I'm hypothetically providing via, whatever the power source is. So if you go in here and lower this, it's actually going to reduce your power output. Now, the manual, as much as I love the manual, there are some parts where I'm kind of like, okay, not a whole lot of details there, but I think I understand what you were going. So if we back out of this bad boy a little bit, and again, this is one of the reasons why you buy an Elecraft radio, because look at this document they send you. Right, so we're going to go to customizing power levels on 19. So I'm pretty much right there. I'm one off. Yeah. So the factory set for the power level is low and high power are 2 and 5 watts, which we kind of already demonstrated that, 2 and 5 watts. And these can be adjusted in the menu, adjust power, which there we are. But what is that telling us? It's saying 14 and 164, which I'm taking that as 14 volts, like, close to 14, 3.8. Or if you were running a 9-volt battery, which this is supposed to run off, if you want to test that, we can do that too. We can drop that down to 9. And so that's what I think this means. That's me saying I think I understand what Wayne was thinking, because, again, Wayne said he did the documentation on this stuff. So good stuff. Anyway, there you go. All right. Next is RTC. A lot of this stuff I'm not going to mess with. SWR, again, I'm not going to touch a lot of this stuff, but you could. Now, if you did get the Edgewood package, you will have a... Hit the any key, James. I know, right? Hit the any key. That'll solve everything. That'll make everything work. If you got the radio that has the stable time source, you can set this, which hypothetically I did set this. What is UTC time? Does anybody want to test this live? How good is it? Oh, it's drifted some. It's 2:53 a.m. Huh, interesting. Obviously, I didn't have it on, but 100% Arnold Gibbs. I would recommend everybody that's interested in this radio to please go download the manual and go learn about it on your own. Actually, go read it, get to know it. By the way, you should do that with all the radios that you potentially purchase. I don't know if I'm the only one that does that, but it's true. I buy a lot of radios sight unseen, like this one, having did not read the manual, just went straight into it. But I have a very specific goal that I want to achieve with this radio. Some of you probably already know what that goal is, but stay tuned for that, right? So there is a stable time source. There's reasons why that's important. That is not in this current firmware, but that is going to be later on in the menu system. I already hit the ATU auto. Yes, you have. You can change it to K. I don't know what K1 test, K2 test is, and all that. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's just go back down. Let me show you the two options that matter the most. Bypass, not installed, is another one, because if you bought it without the tuner. But bypass is going to be, again, for those of you that have an antenna that you don't want to run a tuner on, like your adjustable vertical radios or antennas. You're not going to want to have the tuner go on. You want to leave it in auto in most cases, though. ATU parameter, I'm not messing with that. Display mode operate, so let's go to VI temp. These are what you can show. I'm going to leave it on VI temp for now. In it, again, I'm not in it enough to mess around with that. Now, here's a really important part. The 1.15 firmware is what I think a lot of people are going to get if they're buying one of these. You're probably going to get it with 1.15. And there are some features that are not complete yet, like the internal logging of QSOs. Not going to be there, right? That's going to be something that we'll see as we go through the menu system a lot. If you are, obviously you're buying this because hopefully you're a CW person, you can, of course, set AB mode for IMB. It is locked, so if you hold down menu, it becomes unlocked, and now you can go in there and change it to AB. So you can lock that back up again if you want. Maybe. There you go. Bring it back in. Oh, that's interesting. I changed it, so now you can see we are at 11.3 volts. We're at a 0.05 amp. I think that's draw, but I think that's even too high because we already demonstrated it. It's much lower than that. And it's 28 degrees, I'm assuming Celsius? 28 degrees Celsius seems logical for what it's displaying there. Okay, my key jack I have to hand key, which is what gives me this, solid left straight. So we don't want that anymore. We're going to get that out of there. No? PD1 norm, paddle norm. So yeah, let's lock that in. So yeah, there you go. Good enough. Okay. Key weight is adjustable for those of you that are so inclined to do so. Logging. Okay, so here, if I hold this down, watch this. Okay. Yeah, let's turn it on. Oh, not implemented. Okay, just keep that in mind. You can't mess with that. Message repeat is going to be the other thing that this does is you see how you have a 1, 2, 3, and 4 options here. This allows you to send messages, right? So if I click that message button, it will bring up different buttons that I can click, and I can send, like, for people like me that are not the best CW folk, I can say CQ, POTA, and then I could say, thank you, you are, did it 5959 5N did it dot it, right? And then just wrap it up with a 73 or something like that, right? So you have these 4 menu slots for programmable whatever you want to do with them. And you can repeat them if you'd like to. So pan mode and pan span, a lot of you are going to have to get deeper into this than I am. For those of you that are probably Elecraft folk, you are going to have a better time with this than I do. A lot of this stuff for me is new. So PF1 function, and then we're going to roll through a whole bunch of these let's see, PF3, all these ones. I think these are these buttons. I'm not going to mess with those right now because I haven't set them. Writ clear, by the way, if anybody wants to know what my serial number is, it's 30. Oh, there you go. You can mess with the description on, let's see. Oh, yeah, we want text to code on. VBAT. This I did not know. This I was unfamiliar with, so we can... Ooh. Somebody hit me with the VBAT. What's the VBAT? Battery voltage? Oh, that makes sense because it's oscillating. Yeah, that's the thing. Every time that's when you ask me like, hey Josh, why don't you review more radios and whatnot? Because every radio company and every radio has like all kinds of their own nomenclature, their own menu system that you have to learn. And Elecraft is no different. They are definitely that company as well, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just you kind of have to put that into your mind. I always have to remember is that like people aren't buying like every freaking radio they can get. VFO adjustment, you can adjust this for fast VFO. That's when you hold down the VFO button, the VFO toggle. And there you go. That's pretty much the entirety of the menu. Somebody asked, by the way, this would probably be a good time if you want to hit me with questions. Let's take some questions on this live. Let's see. Can we plug in a different key? I bet you can. Let's see if I can plug in my Bengali Traveler. I'm going to just yank this out. It said, for F's sake. Why did you do that? Why do I do the things I do? Because someone might. Oh, seem to be okay. Seem to be happy times. Let's see. It's flipped. I gotta flip that back. Did I do that? Who wants that? What just happened? Yeah. No. There you go. So there you go. Yes, you can absolutely put another key into it. And in fact, I believe it was Wayne that also commented, like he expects people to come up with different options for their, for their little key that they have, which is a cute little guy. But I've also noticed it's a little gummy, and it's attached to the PC. Like the workmanship that went into this alone is actually pretty impressive. So let's dive in on this guy a little bit for those of you that are key junkies. So you've got the 3.5 tip ring sleeve jack, and then you have two micro switches. Can you see the little micro switches? Those are side by side, or they're next to each other. And then you have these two plastic bodies that connect via these Phillips head screws that then connect to the back. And it is through the differential spring tension here, and also these Allen head keys that give you the tension on the other side. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, super cool. All right, let's take a look at the chat before we go any further. I wanna make sure I'm catching up with you guys. I was neglecting you for almost the entirety of this. So what do you think's cool? What do you love? What do you don't love? Let me hear it. Let me sound off in the chat. Now's the time. Let's talk about it. I'm asking this because I'm hoping to have Wayne and Eric, if he's willing, But definitely Wayne to come up on the chat or come up on the live stream and talk about it. We've already exchanged emails. So interesting. So I don't know that he said, okay, so we gotta be careful, right? When we receive information from everybody. Did he say that it has cat control? Or did he say that it had remote radio capability? Which one and the other can be the same eventually, but not just right out of the bat necessarily. Matt. So if anybody doesn't know, by the way, I'm going to start pulling up all these wonderful videos that you should go look at. But K4SWL. So K4SWL is like one of the first guys on the scene with this thing. And I commented, I think on this one. I don't know if let's see if my comment is there. I did say you lucky dog. That was the other comment. Apparently it's yeah. So let me go back because I know I also asked. No, that's the same one. Yeah, but is there a tiny light? So if anybody doesn't know, I think one of the coolest features, and I think Steve, Temporary Offline, has said the same thing, that the tiny light on the KX1 is one of our favorite things. It has a little light that pokes out of the side of it for logging, which I think is super cool. The other one, obviously, if we search Elecraft KH1, by the way, I'm going to pull all you guys up, I promise. Oh, Josh Gibbs has got one. Look at that. All right. Where am I looking? Where's my boys? Where are my boys at? All right, Jason. Sure. There we go. I'm just kidding. Love you, Jason. But go watch the video that Chuck put out. Make sure you go do that. But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. We're just still going to take your questions. Oh, man, there's so many. Josh Gibbs is killing it out there. He's like, I got to talk about this immediately. I got to get all the food. Look at this guy. Velo Buff. Elecraft announced. Oh, announced. Okay. Where is Coffee and Ham Radio in all of this? We got TO's. That's TO talking about it. We'll drop that one too. Don't worry. I promised I'll get them all. Respect you guys. Respect the hustle. This one was a good one. This Rex KE6MT talking about it. Having Wayne talk about it is probably the most important thing you can do. But seriously, where's the Coffee and Ham Radio on this? Like, I think I've seen myself show up multiple times now. Let's just see if I can do Kofifi and Ham Radio. What does that give me? Look at that. What a good thumbnail. By the way, guys, Coffee and Ham Radio and a lot of the guys over there are absolutely killing it in the thumbnail game. I'm so interested in watching. So anyway, go check that out. By the way, I will link all of this. But it should be repeated multiple times, and I swear I'll get through all the questions. Wayne is the co-founder of Elecraft. And if you go back in time long enough and you look into Wayne's background, Wayne has been involved in the QRP world for a long time. There are a number of radios, kits that Wayne was involved in the development of that people still seek out and want today. Really, really good stuff. So like Wayne is the guy. Like he's an amazing radio developer, all that stuff. So he and Eric got together and they, there's a whole probably deep documentary that could be built on this. And I hope they do. Someone does that once upon a time. Maybe it'll be me if they'd let me. But they decided to make a company called Elecraft, and they created kit radios for a long time, and then they started making fully produced, completely kitted radios that you could buy. But Wayne has always been the guy, and if, let me go back here for a second. He's always been the guy that likes portable amateur radio, and by portable, like we're talking, take this boy, this KX1, right, and go out in the field with it. And if you look at the old write-ups of the instructions on using these radios, he's got write-outs that say like, hey, take a BNC binding post, put a wire up in a tree and run another wire in the ground and let that radio sort it out for you. Just get on the air. Just get on the air with this thing. That was kind of his jam. It's always been his jam. And so now with the KH1, he's had the opportunity to kind of do what he's wanted to do, a passion project, if you will, in making a man-portable, radio. Something that he can carry in his pocket, that he can fully deploy, aside from probably putting earbuds in, right? Because you're listening to the audio coming off of the audio jack. But it's not as good off the speaker, right? That would be the only downside of this, but it's drawing like no power. There's not huge audio amps in this radio. So yeah, you should probably plug in headphones or, earbuds or whatever. But Wayne has been like all about portable ham radio. That's his baby. That's his dream. That's what he's all about. He likes that romantic idea of, going out into a field, walking around and setting up an antenna. And to be honest with you, that's kind of my thing with this radio. That's why I bought it. That's why I bought in like sight unseen. I'm like, well, of course I saw it, but I had a concept of it. The reason is I'm a dad, right? I'm a dad. I've got kids that are doing God knows what all the time. The wife telling me, go take this, take it over there. Then once you get there, pick that thing up and bring it over here. And all I'm doing is just running around. Like, that's what I do. Outside of making YouTube videos, that's all I do is schlep, right? So the worldview of this radio for me is the capability of that 20 minutes where I could possibly just shut everything off, put the radio up, this all-inclusive device, put the earbuds in, and potentially chase some POTA, or even be allowed to go out and do a POTA or a SOTA or whatever, right? Take my kid along with me. Like, it's perfect. It's a perfect with less dad bod. I don't know. I'm trying to get rid of the dad bod, but let me tell you, that's difficult. Drinking the beer doesn't help either, but it is like, I think, again, haven't proved this yet because I'm not the strongest CW operator, but having chased a lot of POTA stations, I have not got to the POTA capable yet of being able to activate, but that's my goal, and I want to use this radio to do that. Right, so that's my goal, I think, on the whole thing, and I think it's really great for that. So let's go back a little bit here because there's a number of things I want to hit. There's questions. By the way, if you @ Ham Radio Crash Course or just type question in your comment, I'll see it as a question, and then I will try and answer it to the best of my ability. But also, I'm going to use this as fuel for talking with Wayne. If he comes on the chat, I'd love that. All right. Follow up to Matt's question: is the screen backlit? Yeah, the screen is backlit. You can actually see it. It's fully illuminated right now. And if I tilt, maybe we can enhance. Watch this. Let's see if we can see the light. See that yellow, the white rim? That's the backlit. Or I guess side lit, but it is. I'm going to go with the fact that the screen is backlit. It's just the reflection of light you're seeing with the intensity. So there's my comment. Question, how's the pencil? Oh, good question. That's actually, I think that's a fantastic question because they're arguing that you should carry this with you everywhere. So it's not a pencil, it's a pen. But let's take a look. As somebody who is thinking like, can I get a fountain pen small enough to fit in here? The reality is that you can't. It's too small. So I did have to write George's last name down, and I apologize. My penmanship is horrible there because I was using one of those ungodly Sharpie dust markers, pens. So, how good is the pen? It's good. It's real good. It's great. I would still argue that, you keep your EDC pencil pen on you that you normally have. I always do carry something like that with me, but it's good. And I did have a bit of trouble. The retraction here was a problem. I had to go in and pull it a little bit. There we go. Also, there was tape on mine that came out of the thing, and I haven't degunked it yet. If you unscrew it, which is possible, haha! Now we're really doing the deep review. Oh yes, let's get way in here. What is the ink cartridge? Of course, it's a Mont Blanc ink cartridge. Oh, maybe not. Oh, so many springs. This is what you... Oh, my God. Oh. What is that even saying? It is a Zebra Japan ink cartridge. This is what you came for, guys. This is the deep-hitting investigations you were looking for. That spring is ridiculous. As a pen, self-appointed pen aficionado, I'm deeply interested in all things ink and who makes them and where it came from. Come on! Oh, now we're in trouble. All right. Well, I break pens so you don't have to, I guess. Wait. Okay, we're good. Maybe. There we go. I would argue probably still keep your pen, your favorite pen, on you, because now it seems to have... Oh, boy. Oh, bother. I'll sort that out later. Nope. Okay. Nope, never mind. We're going to sort that out later. Don't unscrew your pen, folks. Turn the pen off and on. Thank you. Swap out the skill. Swap out for... Yeah, but the problem is it's like the super narrow cartridge. By the way, if you have a better cartridge, link me, because you saw how it was the same diameter as the tip. Interesting. So that see, that's freaking crazy if you input FT8 with CW. I'm not going to comment on all that, but it will do RIDI. So you can convert from CW to RIDI. At least that was Wayne's comment that he made about the capabilities of the radio, which I think is pretty cool. The vanishing point is too big for the entire radio. The vanishing point is such a big pen in comparison to this radio. All right, so what do we got? I got 200 people watching. That's more than I expected on a Monday. So thanks everybody for following me along here. Yeah, the problem is the Space Pen's the girth of Space Pen is just too wide. It's just too wide to be able to do this. By the way, I highly recommend you go to my Amazon store, link in the description, and you go to portable radio communication or portable EDC stuff. I have the telescoping Space Pen. It's so much better than the one you pull the lid off and flip it around. Just so much of a better pen. No, I mean the radio's not going to run WSJTX. But I don't know. I don't exactly understand what that all is yet. Because to turn CW into WSJTX, you'd just be out there trolling, right? Okay, enough of that. Let's hop back into the radio and get back onto let's listen to some CW, because that's what you guys really care about if you've waited this long. By the way, we tried to cover all the incidental things. I think all the features outside of the CW. I think we all expect it to perform well. So I'm assuming that it's going to be okay here, as we kind of already played around with. But anyway, let's dive back in. Because I know I'm going to get comments of people, you spent the entirety of the video just talking about all the features of the radio instead of just using it. It's like, well, I mean, that's what... Most people are going to show you the radio being used. I expect that. Here's the video for you showing you all the other things that nobody else talked about. At least hopefully, right? We'll see. I don't know. All right. That's what I like. I like that. I like that a lot. Enough about the radio. I need a 10-minute review on the pen. Do you know that how many like YouTube pen videos there are? As somebody who is a total nut for fountain pens, there's entire channels, including channels that have stores like Goulet pens. Oh my God! Don't even talk to me about how much money I've spent over on those guys. I love fountain pens. Absolutely love them. Anyway, 20 meters is getting pretty quiet out there. So I'll make a... Oh, wait, there's somebody. Yeah, I think there's something way down. Way down. Anyway. Pretty in the noise. Now, eventually you're going to have a decode capability. At least that's my understanding. I think that we might be able to go in here, though. I pass it. Yeah, I passed it. Right there. I don't know if operate does anything, but let's see that. So, I think that's your noise floor. That's your battery. That's your time. We're in CW mode. I'm going to scroll off this. Sorry, let me get off here for a second. Okay. We're definitely transmitting because my radio, my 7610 just blew up. Let's change bands. It's going to take me a while to remember that. See, I've got an upper sideband. You want to hear FT8 noises? How good is this for FT8? Hold on, let's see. Oh my god! You could FT8 with this! Maybe. The bandwidth on transmit's probably not wide enough. But you could decode for sure. You could decode Whisper with this with no problem. Alright, let's get out of that. There we go. Okay. I have not even tuned the antenna yet. Prepare yourself. As the 40-meter antenna dials itself into place, the step IR technology fills your ears with the crushing noise of my S7 noise floor. I'm not taking any contacts yet, so just hold on. There's nobody that's doing portable CW POTA right now. What? What was that guy? So for CW decode, again, let's go. Logging is currently not enabled yet. We already passed the code? I think we did. Yeah, I think that was it. So it's going to have decode. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So we expect that to be later. Yes, there's a sprint. We're looking at a sprint. What's happening right now? Okay, let's. We do have a really strong station. Yeah, everybody that's like, oh yeah, we definitely want this to do FT8. This is not really the radio to do FT8. Go get a QDX. Go get a QDX. Those are way, way better for doing FT8. In fact, that's like one of my favorite little go everywhere rigs. A lot of times is that QDX. So wait, what is that station? It's M something? M? Is it really M? Da? Am I wrong? So my understanding is it doesn't have adjustable filters, but I'm sure somebody's going to correct me because we can go look into that. Oh, CQMST N4. Oh, okay. I don't want to work that though, so I don't want to have to submit a log. I do have a QMX, I just haven't built it yet. Oh, I gotta get out of there. Alright, let me find something quiet. Hey, look at that. Okay. Let's see who's out there. Oh, because I got an upper sideband still. Why? There we go. Oh. Now we'll get there. Yeah, it's the Macaulay Traveler. Maybe we program a memory or a message. Record. Yes. Is that right? I screwed up. Never mind. Let's go back to message. Record. Wait. Oh no, not implemented yet. Okay, shoot. So what if I do... Oh, not implemented. Okay. So there we go. Oh, that's me, man. I'm the hardest of the hardcore CW guys. But I'm improving, slowly but surely, and that's all that anyone can hope for, right? So let's take a final round of questions. I don't. Nobody heard me. Did the reverse? Wait. Okay. I got to do this one more time and get on the reverse beacon at least. Jeez. What? Do they pick up this high? Am I too high for reverse beacon? Okay. Oh, Chris. Oh, Chris. By the way, did everybody know that it's Paint the World Orange Day? That's right, it is. Oh! I got a dot. Okay. It could be your day, buddy. Oh, you're so there! You're so in the noise. All right. Let's try and wrap things up here because I think this is not gonna. Oh. Wait, who? I heard my call, but I lost your call. Da-da-da? I got that. Yep. Ah! Got it! Got it! All right. Oh, wrong. Oh! Nice! Well, I mean, I got that much at least. The W0KU. What's UTC time right now? 253. You gotta finish it, bud. Oh, wait, that was wrong. Had to give up on me? See, the smart people, smart channels send me their pen. Look at how much traction this guy's getting right now. I'm just kidding. Ham Radio Base is a good channel. Oh no! Oh no! Did the band just fade? Chris, the decoder's not fully functioning yet. The decoder's not fully functioning yet. Oh! Yeah. Oh no! He's back! Okay. Oh, runaway key. Oh. Sorry, I'm cutting it short there because I got to wrap up. But thank you for the contact. Close enough. We got in there. No, thank you, thank you. All right, buddy. All right, well, thank you there. I appreciate it. That was good. All right. Excellent. So there you go. There, and then when we're all done, I'm gonna make sure I put that key back in there because I'm gonna need that here coming up here soon. Oh yeah, right back in there. Here we go. All right. Well, shoot. I don't know. I think that was a win. I think we got at least one test out of that. But if you want to hear more of the operation of the radio, please go look up Thomas's K4SWL's channel. He did have a little bit of funkiness. He was using an external audio recorder for his radio while he was out there doing an operation, and it was okay. he's gonna sort it all out, and it sounds great. Hopefully you heard the audio pretty much unadulterated. I think you probably did. So yeah, it's super cool, super cool. I'm super into it. Now, I do want to wrap things up with actually walking through the whole thing as I did on the live stream when sorry, not the live stream, but when I dropped the video on it. I do want everybody to understand everything you saw today was that Edgewood package, right? That was the full up unit. That was the whole deal. So let's go to the package right there. Yeah, not an inexpensive, unit. Once you price it all together, it's $1,000. And then once you factor in shipping and taxes and all that stuff, you're closer to like $1,200 for the radio. So what does it include? Let's go back. So everything that I showed today is basically what's a part of that Edgewood package. So you get the radio, where the radio is a 5-band radio. So the radio is 5 bands, right? But then when you want to do the external whip, so the vertical whip attached and the radial, then you got 3 bands, 15, 17, and 20, right? Keep that in mind. You get the paddle, right? The paddle is a part of that kit. The logbook tray, right? The little sheets that you can pull off and slide in. The rechargeable battery, the battery charger. So it's supposed to come with a battery charger. Did mine have the battery charger? Doesn't matter. I think I have like 2 of them. So the zippered case, which I think I showed, but I will. I'll actually wrap this up showing my KX2 versus my KH1 and the whole setup there, how I pack it. The zippered case, got it. Power cable, got that. That's there. USB cable. The USB cable is going to be used with the KH1 software that is inevitably going to come along for the radio. And then you have the owner's manual, and there you go. So there you go. That's the radio. If you want all the capabilities that I mentioned, you pretty much have to go with the Edgewood. Otherwise, you could just get a mountain topper. Like if you're not going to attach a physical whip, if you're not going to put the battery inside, if you're not going to do the tuner, if you're not going to do all that stuff, then you don't really need the KH1. You could go with a myriad of other cheaper, realistically, CW transmitters. And that's totally fine. If that's what you want to do, there's no problem in that. You can go that route. Yeah, I'm almost done. Thank you. So let's do a quick size comparison on my setups, and then I'm gonna get out of here. I think we hit the mark here, guys. I think we hit all the things. So let's back this baby out here. Get everything. By the way, if you wanted a comparison, here's the Bengali Traveler next to the radio, which is I think a pretty funny juxtaposition. But we did it, regardless, right? Okay, so let's get this beautiful CW key out of the way. But here we go. We're off, right? Okay. So we're going to put the whip back on, right? There's where the whip lives. This is the radio wire. Normally, I'd go ahead and take the time to wrap it all around there, but I'll leave that for another time. Here's the case that it comes with. I did put in a pair of Sony earbuds. These are the ones that I've been using for a long time. Radio wire. Zip it up. Done. Okay. Now, I think I have one of the smaller KX2 setups that's out there. You can see the KX2 is almost the size of that whole unit, but obviously the KX2 has accoutrement that has to go into it. And thank you K6ARK for recommending this low pro case. But the low pro case, I have an internal battery to the KX2, which is already in there. Here's a secondary battery. There's the dongle. This is the AX1 antenna with the elbow. Ooh, you know what? We didn't test whether the AX1 antenna whip is the same. We'll do that too. This is the 40-meter extension for the AX1. This is the K6ARK microphone. Let's do that first. Hold on. So, okay, now we're getting real insider info. This is the whip, the AX1. I think it's the same. Looks the same. The only difference is I think they added some rubber feet. Yeah. They added some rubber tubing so that it would connect to the KH1. So it looks like the same Same form factor as the AX1 antenna, just slightly different because it's got the rubber feet. Okay, so then that goes and lives there. Microphone lives right there. And then inside this spot is where you have all the wires for the microphone, the CW key, all that stuff. I'm not going to yank all that out, but there's also the little kickstand for the AX1 so that it can sit next to your radio. That exists there. And then it zips up. So pound for pound, this is probably a 3-pound radio setup with the KX2, which does CW, or so it does CW and single sideband versus about a pound for the KH1. So there you go. That's my smallest pack out for the KX2, courtesy of the low pro bag mentioned by K6ARK. So yeah, that's about it. God, Chris, I gotta tell you what, I'm not even looking at the live stream chat on X. It could be a total S show. Does it actually show me if I'm streaming over there? It does. But how do I look at my chat? Huh. It doesn't really have, like, I wish I could integrate the live chat. If somebody knows how to do that, let me know. Because if I could integrate the X chat into it, because I got a comment from Joseph MD. This isn't the radio for me, but it's nice to see the innovation. I have a K1, which is I literally have a K1 behind me, which is an awesome CW rig. I just don't need the ultra portable. Yeah, see, like that's perfect. Like, I mean, I think it's really cool that Elecraft is putting it out there, like basically saying, hey, we make a really baller base station. Go get yourself a K4. But if you want like the coolest QRP radios, like some of the coolest ones that exist, you can check out this entire line of ridiculous radios that we make, which I think is super cool. Yeah, well, thank you. I hope I did. Fanny Pack True SD kit or the KH1? KH1. Yeah, so, God. So everybody who went out and bought a True SDX, you still have a good radio, and you probably spent $900 less than you would have paid if you got a KH1. But literally that Fanny Pack video, I had no idea the KH1 was coming. All the people like Thomas did not tell me about any of this. I did not know. I might not have made my Fanny Pack video had I known that this was coming. They shocked me. They all did. And yeah, this would be the Fanny Pack radio because it's all inclusive. It's like super all inclusive. It's not the Cadillac, Alabama Andrew. No, I mean it's good, but it's not the Cadillac. It's just something that can be with you all the time. You can have it with you all the time. You can anytime you got 30 minutes, you can have this thing on the air in less than like 2 minutes. I promise you. You could be on the air with this thing. You might look like a weirdo, but depending on where you're at, who cares? Who cares? Yeah, so I will, if you go take my Amazon store link and you're really interested in that Low Pro, that's where you can find it. I do have it linked to my Amazon store. You can find it that way in my various different setups there. Chris Bricker, you better shut your mouth, buddy, because that's something that's coming up. You are already like you and me, buddy, right here. You're on the pulse. That's exactly what I want to do with this. It's either gonna be the coaxial chest rig or it's gonna be the Hill People chest rig. I think the Hill People may be a better fit because the coaxial really well, you know what? I could probably cram the Motorola in the coaxial for sure, and then I could cram the KH1 in the back area. That's like all your bases right there. All your bases belong to ham radio at that point, I think. Delightful. How long have I been streaming? Oh my God, almost 2 hours. This is supposed to be like a 40-minute live stream. I hope you all enjoyed this. If you did or didn't, I want to hear it in the comments. That's what I would really love to hear. I have a video coming up for POTA, Parks on the Air, to get all those technicians on the air, hopefully get them out there. This is probably not like the radio for you all to start your journey, obviously because it doesn't do 10 meters, but it's a really cool radio, and I think it deserves a place there. So give it a shot if you're in the market for something ultra portable that you can take kind of everywhere you go. I am Josh KI6NAZ. We'll be having Ham Nation this week, along with some other fun shenanigans. And until I talk to you again, 73. All right, Chris, I'll tell you the secret. I went to Hamvention, and I saw it there, and I said, I want to buy that. And she said, Bagali, she said, I sold all my orange ones. I only have this orange one that is my floor display model. And I said, I will buy that one. And she said, cash check or charge. And I bought it. So yeah, that's the story of the orange Bagali. Is I bought it. It was at Hamvention though, specifically. You had to get the special colorways at Hamvention. They had another one, but the big ones were the case-hardened metal sculpture, I think, and Masterpiece or Monster or something like that. The case-hardened ones are super cool. The Bagali ones they're case-hardened, which is beautiful. All right. Hey! Douglas, thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. You guys have a great rest of your week. It was fun to talk with you on a Monday. I seldom talk to you on the Monday. I always talk to you at the end of the week, but it was good to talk to you to start this one. So I hope you have a great rest of the week. And please leave your comments in the comments below. Would love to hear it. If you haven't already, give me that subscription. Go ahead and check out. Avail yourself of the links. Go watch all those great people who did videos before me. All right. 73 from Josh, KI6NAZ.